Hey, welcome to episode 27 of Lawfully Chaotic, season 4. Thanks for joining us tonight.
My
for watching
God.
afterward.
How many episodes are in a season, or is it go by the calendar year?
It depends how many episodes we skip, how many weeks we skip.
I think season 4 is so far going to be our most episodes because we didn't take a summer break. We actually
I see.
Right.
we actually pushed through the summer and bit down on the piece of wood and let the pain flow through. So
That is true. With me, as always, is Jason, TTRPG Academy storyteller extraordinaire, and Kristen of Kristen's Epic Adventures, epic adventurer extraordinaire.
That's me.
That's you. Tonight we have a little bit of show and tell. We just pick some cool stuff that we have that reminds us of why we love games and what we grew up with and yada 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 and all that stuff. So it's show and tell night.
Is yada 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 the
You don't remember that game? Yada yada yada. It was a role-playing game for
Which reminds me of Seinfeld.
yada yada yada, and then I got arrested.
Yada. Yes. That was a good episode.
silliness. Pure silliness.
Announcements.
I saw your Instagram. That looked pretty
Did
cool.
you? Well, let's get into that then, shall we?
Yes, that's a good announcement.
So yes, I just did a brand for Ivan Van Norman.
Does that guy age, by the way? Does he actually physically age? I'm curious.
Maybe that's an old picture.
He's a vampire.
I don't think that's an old picture. I don't think he physically ages. Yeah.
Did he ask you to Photoshop the picture of him to make him look younger?
I didn't do this picture. This is their Kickstarter page. So I did branding
Did you
for
do the logo
Tales of Dread. Yes, the logo system.
So this is an actual play?
It is like an interactive gaming experience, or like a performative gaming experience. He is doing it in conjunction with
I see Alexander Ward.
Yeah.
Yes,
I love
and
him.
Becca Scott of the Good Time Society. So it is like
Annie Phantom, he's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like
Annie
Jasmine.
Phantom.
I love Jasmine. The only two that I know are Jasmine and Alex. I mean, I've heard of some of the other ones, but I don't know if
I don't know Danny, Christian, or Jasmine. I know Becca.
I think my friend plays in.
So did you do all the branding for their Kickstarter page? Is that what you did?
I did not. I did. I just did the brand for the game itself.
Gotcha.
Brand.
Tales of Dread. That's pretty.
Check it out. It's like an immersive horror RPG experience, and I think they've done one in the past. So many years ago, the show Sagas of Sundry.
I love that show.
Yeah,
I can't find it anymore. I don't know if they had to take it down.
I think
Sagas of Sundry. Aren't they on YouTube?
I couldn't find it because I wanted to watch Madness, Sagas of Sundry Madness again, because like Liam O'Brien's in that one.
Down because
can't find
of
it anywhere.
I think they took it down because of
I see
issues. I don't know. I don't want to speak out of turn because I don't know the whole background, but yes, I don't think you can still watch it. But anyway,
I think it's on Geek and Sundry.
It's an experiment in live storytelling, blending role-playing, horror, and deeply personal character journeys into a format that blurred the line between game and performance. So it sounds really freaking awesome. It's based on the game Dread.
Yeah.
And Tales of Dread, you can see
that's the one with the Jenga tower.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So this version of the logo
from the Jenga tower, and if it falls, the character dies.
Kristen, in private chat, I gave you the link to the sagas.
Which one did you find? Because I found season 2, but I couldn't find season 1, which is called Madness.
Well, I found Sagas of Sundry Dread, which is issue 1 through 6.
I think.
Okay, so this is kind of like a reboot on that, but under he now, I think, again, I'm not super familiar with the old one, but for reasons that I'm not privy to, it's a reboot of that. So anyway,
gotcha.
Case in point, I've worked with Ivan before, but not quite so directly. But he's an awesome guy to work with. Just so creative, awesome. So laid back and chill.
Nice.
Really, really cool guy. So anyway, check out the Kickstarter. It sounds really freaking awesome. And the idea is that this will, be based on different games over time. So the Tales of Dread can encompass many games. The Tower is going to be the first one, but we set the visual branding up so that it can be kind of, it can evolve into other games, if you will. So,
nice.
So yeah, that's my latest branding work with Ivan Van Norman. So check that out.
Yeah, cool. That's a bummer. You're right. You can't find Madness anywhere.
Yeah, they took one still up there, but the other one I think got taken down.
Yeah,
that's the one I wanted to rewatch. Erica Ishii was in that one, and Liam O'Brien, and it took place like in a hotel. It was like in a apartment building or a hotel. I think it was an apartment building.
Wait, hold on. I'm having some.
No, you got it. I just had to I did the rearrange after you did the overlay.
Oh, I'm not seeing the overlay. I'm lagging on my end.
No, it's up. Yeah, it's up.
Okay.
You're just you lagged a bit.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that's what I got. I am painting.
Nice.
I told you, there were a few weeks where I really wasn't painting, but I'm starting to paint again. I'm working on this dude right here.
Ooh, snazzy. Oh wow.
Pretty cool.
So this is definitely a work in progress.
Wait, is he currently headless?
Yes, but here's his.
I'm like, where the hell's his head?
Here's his little head.
Oh, look at the little head. Oh, that's cute.
That's ridiculous. I don't know how you do it, man.
Itty bitty tiny thing.
Just looking at that, knowing what you did to do that, makes me hurt.
I gotta say, this guy is turning out really to be one of my better ones from like a precision and technique standpoint. So I'm interested.
Now here comes the question. Here comes the big $24 million question. Are you going to play with that army?
I told you, to date, I have still never actually fucking played Warhammer 40K. I convinced my friends. I convinced Gary and Matt, they've been on chat.
You have like a local 40K shop somewhere or something?
I do, but I do.
Well, that means I gotta socialize and talk to people that have the meat
socializing. Here's the thing. Like, I probably can put together a decent enough army to play, but none of it is, according to Games Workshop, tournament legal, because
who cares? Go play in a tournament. Just go play at a table.
Well, I know, and that's the thing. I just need to find a table where nobody gives a shit. That at least, like, if you're playing Space Marines that look decent,
every local game shop in the world doesn't give a shit about tournament rules. None of them do. Warhammer Game Shop may care about tournament rules, but who cares? Warhammer Game Shops suck.
Eventually, I will play.
Tell us how you really feel.
Anyway, unless you guys suck. Unless you guys have announcements, I can segue that into my first show and tell.
My Tuesday table will be officially opening in October. It is going to be D&D 2024 Exandria, and it's going to be the Age of Restoration is going to be the theme. So it looks like Panthea Games, the gal that runs the Panthea Discord and is one of the pay-to-play DMs, will be playing in that one as well.
Nice.
So she'll be there. I've got Michael from my Friday table. He hasn't gotten back to me yet, but he'll probably join. I want to get it to 5 people before we start. I'm going to see if everyone's going to be okay with it being on Twitch and YouTube, and we'll do it live.
Nice.
That's Tuesday nights?
Yep, Tuesday nights. 7. Well, it's going to be too late for you. It's going to be 7 to 10.
Pacific.
Oh, so 9 to midnight?
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a West Coast. It's mostly going to be a West Coast table.
I can go to 11 on a school night. Midnight's pushing it a little bit.
Yeah, right. You'll turn into an old pumpkin.
Yeah.
It's about that.
But yeah, that's all I got to share.
Okay.
Kristen, you got anything?
I have officially decided that I am going to only put out YouTube videos every other week because it's a lot of work.
A lot of editing.
It is so much work. And the weather is starting to get to the point where it's actually nice to do things outside in Florida. It's not too hot.
Yeah.
And between making videos and playing games and reading all the books that I bought at Gen Con and stuff, I was just getting a little RPG'd out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
It's a lot. So I'm going to go down to every other week.
Actually, yeah. I think every other week's a good schedule, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll segue into my first. I've got a few.
What you got?
Now, the real box of goodies of some of my favorite stuff, I think, is either buried in my garage or more likely still at my parents'. Yes, I still have shit in my parents' basement.
Guilty.
So I got to find that. But I did dig up the 2008 version of 40K.
I remember that book. I thought that was a great book.
And look how good a shape it's in. Because it's
very nice. A hardcover?
It's never been opened.
Because he doesn't use it.
And the Space Marine Codex.
Nice.
So I do, and I said I was hoping to have also the original Rogue Trader book, which I know I have. It's, again, I think it's in that box of goodies. But I still have the original Rogue Trader book, I think from, is it 95 or something? No, It's probably before that. It's like probably 89 or so. Somebody here. Let's
that would be high school time.
Let's look it up. Click, 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 click. It's like customer service now. Let me check on that for you. Fake type, fake typing, fake typing, fake typing.
Yeah, right.
Rogue Trader. Oh, well, here it is for $150 at Noble Night Games in Wisconsin. When was this? Come on, somebody help me out here. When was this released?
Which one are you looking for?
The Rogue Trader book. Oh, wait, here. 1987.
Oh, wow. That's going way back.
Yeah, I remember Rogue. That was way before I even got into... I didn't get into Warhammer till well after college. When I had like a normal corporate job and a great paycheck and the dedicated garage with all the game tables and everything, that's when I finally got into it. But I was very lucky. I had a tight knit group of about 5 people that all liked to play. So every weekend, like every either Saturday, I would cook dinner or barbecue for everybody, and then they'd all come over. The wives would all hang out in the yard. And then we'd all be in the garage playing Warhammer and 40K. We did that for like 4 or 5 years.
Just to make you feel nice and old, that date was 38 years ago.
Yeah, I graduated from high school in '89, like 3 years after that book came out.
I was class of 91.
Nice.
I have plenty of daily reminders of how old we are. Trust me. The closest I ever got to playing, but so even back then, I loved the lore. And like I said, I've got a bunch of the metal minis, Citadel miniatures from way the fuck back when.
Careful, they might have lead in them.
Oh, they definitely have lead in them.
Don't put them in your mouth.
That's why I eat them as I
touch them with your hands. They'll absorb the lead right into your fingers through your skin.
The closest I ever got to playing was I convinced a couple of the guys to play. But back then, they had charts you could do like kind of pre-made army type stuff, or you could literally customize everything. So I kind of forced them to play. They had no interest. Oh my God, the secret level 40K episode. Do you know how many times I've watched that? Probably 50 fucking times. It's
pretty epic.
If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. Secret level. I think it's episode 5, and it's the 40K one. But so
the D&D one's just as good too. The opening D&D episode.
They are all awesome. But the
Mega Man, I fell in love with Mega Man. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
That just really took me back.
Yeah. But so anyway, So I convinced her to play, and it was me against the two of them, and we spent, and I'm like, I want to customize my army. Now, I did it. I did a Space Marine army even back then, but I was like customizing the weapons and stuff. They made like, and this is not going to be a long story because the game lasted about 45 seconds. They made like 5 fucking psychers that were like 1,000 points each, and basically cast this temporal distortion spell on me the first turn, and I could do nothing, and I got pissed off because they did that just to piss me off, and that was the one and only time I played 40K. I think I rolled 1 dice once.
Oh, no.
He
said, I'm taking my toys and going home.
It's interesting because so for 38 years apparently I've been into this game, and I've
never played.
Actually, never freaking played it.
Wow.
There you go. But like I said, I as much as I bitch about them as a company sometimes, the lore and the artwork and the creativity and the sculpts and the minis have always just been like unreal. So
I do like the minis.
It's always cool. It's always.
And you know what's funny? Since you brought up the Warhammer 40K theme, my first introduction to Warhammer 40K. Was I want to say I went to a garage sale or a friend's house, and they had Epic, the box set Epic.
Oh, Warhammer. The Titan. Yeah, the Titan level. Yeah.
Well, no, it was called Warhammer Epic, and everything was tiny scale. Like
because it was scaled for Titans.
But they hadn't released the Titans yet, so he didn't have any of the Titans. It was like, like the Land Raider was this tiny little car that was like on the guys.
The figures were literally
but it was really cool because he also had the one with the spaceships, the Warhammer 40K spaceships. I forget which box set that's called. Gothic. It's Gothic. Yeah, Warhammer Gothic. So we would play up in space, and then we'd land on a planet, and then we'd battle it out on the planet with his epic scale stuff. And after he showed me how everything played and how it worked, that's when I got hooked.
Geez.
Battlefleet Gothic.
Battlefleet Gothic. Like the combination of playing 40K Epic and Gothic, we could like
here. What do I need to get started? $27,000 worth of mini.
I don't know about that.
That's nuts.
So anyway,
oh my God, we almost did that professionally. Did you see that? We were right back to the overlay, and I did the rearrange. Oh my God!
Our brains have
secretly hired a production manager.
No, our brains have finally synced into the hive mind after only 5 years.
So what else you got, Bri?
You want me to? I'll do all my stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Go for it.
So I've also got. And this is funny because, I've still got my original monster manual and some of the other original books like Unearthed Arcana, Fiend Folio, although, those came a little bit later. But the monster manual is from when AD&D first came out. I cannot for the life of me find my player's handbook. And strangely enough, and I've showed this before on the show, but since it is show and tell, I'm going to do it again. Strangely enough, because back when we were kids, I never DM'd, so I never had a DM's guide.
Oh,
so one of my dearest friends of all time bought me a first edition DM's guide for my birthday.
Nice.
I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
It's even got like the sewn binding shit going on, and it's
very cool.
Pretty decent. It's in decent enough shape or it's in bad enough shape where I don't have to worry about like wearing white museum gloves.
Right.
But good enough that that was a really special birthday gift. And like I said, it's funny because as a kid, never owned the DM's guide. So, and two of my absolute favorites from back then, module wise.
Oh, was that Ravenloft?
The original Ravenloft 1 and 2.
Oh, 1. Okay. Very nice.
And that is still one of my favorite pieces of art.
Awesome.
Is Rod just sitting on the balcony.
Yeah.
So so among other things, still have.
Yeah, I was really
what's
torn
the copyright
because
date on those.
That's gotta be the 90s, right?
This is 83.
Oh wow.
Oh.
And number 2 is 86.
That's pretty good shape from the 80s.
Yeah, these actually are. And I've got, like I said, I've got the City System. I've got the Waterdeep box set. The boxes are trash, but all the stuff is.
It's funny. Almost, I have the box set of Ravenloft, so I have the boxed.
Ah, okay.
I almost pulled that as my choice because that was my first time experiencing the idea of D&D and horror combined. You know,
oh yeah.
Up to then, it had all been fantasy, adventure, and all the kind of typical tropes and stuff. But when I got my hands on that box set, I was like, "Oh wow, this is cool! I can make a horror movie." You know, and make it like totally cool. I ended up doing a custom homebrew where I made it all like Aliens because Alien, the movie, kind of impressed me. So I made it like the vampires were born through eggs. So people were going through the people were going through the mansion, and all these like vampire eggs were everywhere.
And
they would burst out, and demons, you know, like vampire spawn would come out of the eggs.
That's awesome.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, it really hooked me on the idea of mixing the different entertainment cultures. Even back then, I thought it was a lot of fun.
I mean, it became an instant cult classic because vampires and Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, hello, you know.
I would say the Dragonlance box set did pretty good too when it first came out. A lot of people were hooked on that. I have a lot of the Dragonlance modules up there. On the shelf. Once again, it was real hard. Like I spent an hour yesterday going because my library is like half a wall over here in my studio. I was like looking at the top shelf. You know, I had the original box set of Space Hulk up there because I love Steelers and Space Hulk. I thought that was fun. I have the box set of Dragonfire up there. I also have the original box set Thunder Mountain, which that was during the era when suddenly we were getting these box sets with like little punch out markers and things were getting a little bit more epic for D&D. And then I found my original book for D&D Battle System, which was their first attempt at miniature war tables. Miniature war tables. So I was like, oh man, this is going to be hard. And then I go down the next shelf and it's all my Car Wars stuff. And I got like a first print Car Wars set in there. And I'm like, oh my God, there's that.
I don't think
and then I got a whole shelf of Battletech. And then I got a whole shelf of Starfleet battles. I'm like, what am I going to pick? I don't know what to do.
I still have all my Battletech stuff. I still have all my painted mechs. I have to dig those out. The last one for tonight, though, is the Monks, Bards, and Thieves boxed set of Ralpartha miniatures.
I remember that miniature box. I remember that one.
This one... Also, 1983.
Keep in mind, you got 12 metal figures in that one. I think by then they had converted to pewter. Do you still have the...
Put it in your mouth and find out.
Do you still have the printed price on the box for that one?
I'm looking for it. I do not. I'm guessing it was probably about $12.
Yeah. Where 12 metal figures now would run you about $40-$50.
And it's chock full of a whole mess of shit that also is not part of this box, but some other boxes. But
I remember doing that all the time. Like I would buy all the Ralpartha blisters on the shelf. Open them all and then jam them into all the other box sets that I have.
The funny thing is, this has got some of my painted minis from way back in like early 80s. And I remember like a few of these. I was always very particular about the sculpts of minis. I never liked, it's funny, even as a kid, I never liked the kind of overdone, hokey kind of poses or gigantic weapons and stuff like that. I always liked stuff that was a little bit more representative.
Well, that's probably why you went with the monk, bards, and thieves, because
rather than
those tend to be much more subtle sculpts. They weren't very intricate.
Well, plus also back then I was more like the Rogue Ranger type player.
Everybody was Han Solo, my friend. I get it. Everybody was Han Solo.
Yep.
You were either Han Solo or you were Strider. That's what everybody played.
For me, it was Strider. I was always
and if you were a Dragonlance fan, you were Tanith, the half-elven. The half-elf ranger, I think. Yeah, so it was like
a few of these miniatures. I found this box like last year, and I opened it up and I was looking at them, and it amazed me. Not only seeing my painting work from way back then, but just remembering like how much I loved some of these miniatures, and it immediately transported me back, like it was yesterday. It was just unbelievable.
Awesome.
So this
that's
guy,
really cool. That's awesome.
There's that guy. This was always one of my favorites.
So you had skills back then too.
Nice.
Apparently I did.
But people that have good painting or artist skills tend to not think they're very good. Cool.
So there's this little guy. So yeah, I think and some of these may not even be from this box set. But oh my God, there's two of this guy.
Huh.
Oh, those were the elves. It was
if you end up playing in a game of Shadow Dark, live at a table. I mean, I would bring one of those cool old minis because Shadow Dark's so OSR and kind of nostalgic.
Because when you're
this is why I made Brian go first, Kristen.
Like when you're a kid, it's like, oh my God, this miniature's awesome. I love the way I painted it. It's like these in this box right here were some of my favorite miniatures that meant so much to me at that time as a kid playing this game, because back then our maps were all paper. Yeah. We didn't have anything beyond that. So the most interesting thing on the table were your miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the tangible aspect of the game back then was your miniatures, because the map was just a piece of paper, graph paper and shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't even think we used dry erase back then. So anyway, I dug that box out and I started going through it and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm fucking 13 years old again.
That's pretty funny.
It was really, really cool.
So what'd you bring, Kristen?
That's what I got for tonight, but I'm gonna dig out the other box because there's some other old shit in there also.
All right, that's cool. I don't have old stuff like that because I didn't play back then.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But this one's for Brian. I found this. Look at what I found.
Oh, sweet!
In my closet, tiny epic galaxies.
So look how small that box is.
Yeah, it's a little, right? So this is it.
Right? Yeah.
Little in the box.
Now show us what's in there. Those tiny epic
One thing I like, you take the lid off and it says dice tray. Yeah. So there's your dice tray that you roll your dice in.
Yep.
And you've got some boards and all the little meeples that are shaped like little
rockets. Yeah. I've become a fan of the whole meeple movement. I noticed that when I was at the Strategicon event, there was a vendor there selling nothing but a variety of meeples, for all your games.
Oh yeah,
it
same
was
at Gen Con.
I didn't realize it was
they're a really, really great way to do game pieces in a very simple and very easily visually recognizable way.
Yeah.
But those tiny epic games, I absolutely love them.
You're right. They are epic. There's a huge amount of fun. It's a good box of fun.
So I have galaxies, Western, heroes, pirates.
It's a good box of fun.
A good box of fun. No, but seriously, the amount of stuff in that box. That has more stuff in it than a lot of full-size games I had, and they are really, really. Awesome.
I've played this. I haven't played it in so long. I don't remember too much about it, but it does say ages 14 and up, so it's not like a kid's game or anything.
They are actually deep games.
Yeah, they are.
Some of them are pretty. And
involved. It says 1 to either 6 or 8 players. So 6, I think. So you must be able to play it by yourself because it says 1. Must have a solo mode.
Yeah, you can.
And it says it's only 30 to 45 minutes. Yep. You are the supreme commander of your very own galaxy in an intergalactic war.
You know what the best?
They're trying to colonize the most sought after planets. It says. So if the cards are like the planets,
they're generally resource management games, but they're really cool also.
They are very cool.
You know what the best feature of those games are? They cost $24.99 each.
Yeah, they're not like an $80 board game.
So yeah, when Gamelyn, it's Gamelyn Games, GAMELYN. If you're interested.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah,
and there's probably 8, 9 maybe different Tiny Epic titles. When they come out of it with a Kickstarter, it's pretty much automatic for me.
Oh yeah,
because it's a Kickstarter that only costs me $25.
Yeah, but he probably goes all in for 150. Give me everything.
No, you can't. I mean, I think the most I spent on one was $35 because I got extra dice with it or something.
Right. It says easy entry, high strategy, low downtime, short play time, high replayability, and a small footprint.
Yeah,
that's all very true.
They're very cool. Check out Tiny Epic Games from Gamelyn Games.
Yes, they're all very cool. This is I may have had one other, but all right. So my other stuff. Okay, so I have apparently 54 sets of dice, which is not a lot to some people. But when I put
a lot to my wife, she'll tell you to.
Some people got more.
Calista will tell you to up your dice game because she's got like 200-300 sets. So
oh my god, no, I'm done buying
more
dice.
than me, but I've got a lot of. So Laura Bailey's big dice sack thing.
The dice bag.
They sent me one of those after I finished one of the projects.
Nice.
I've got that full, and that thing holds a fuck ton of dice. Let me tell you.
Callista has one of those and a giant purple tower.
Oh, cool.
I've got some more boxes of stuff. I don't think I have as much as Callista, but I've got a lot of dice. But
I'm done buying dice. I'm not buying any more dice. But I like to keep some of them. A lot of them that I use all the time are in a dice tray in the closet. But I like to keep this just out in my living room as like a conversation piece. There's a bunch of extras. This is an IKEA jar.
It looks like one of those.
Full of a bunch of dice.
They're in here and win.
That's actually pretty cool. I've never thought about doing that. I might do that up front of the shop because I sit in the back. My studio is the 300 square feet in the very back of the spa. Mm-hmm. So the rest of the 4,000 square foot spa is all of Callista's stuff, and then there's a reception area in the front where. You come in, you sit down, you check in, you do all the paperwork. I'm like, I might do that. I think I may have her put a jar out there just filled with dice.
I have done that too. I have made. That's what I should have grabbed. I've made little potion bottles too that have like 4 D4s in them, and then they got a little cork and a little like skull thing on them, and a little potion label. Because my players would always forget that they have potions, and you know what? The stupid little potion bottles didn't help remind them either.
I even went as far as to suggest.
Then they're idiots and they don't deserve it.
I added homebrew rules that finally fixed that problem. So I made potions of free action, and I made if you take an action to drink a healing potion, you get the full amount of the healing.
Nice.
So I wanted to encourage people to actually use them, because I've gotten to the end of a campaign where people are like, oh yeah, I have these like 18 potions I've never used. Which is funny because the very first thing you do if you've played Baldur's Gate 3, you're looking at like 95 potions that you're not using. It's pretty funny.
Now, if you want, you could even do a bigger jar of these. But one thing that makes it kind of cool is if you go to the craft store and you get one of those sets of like little fairy lights. Battery operated. You can put the fairy lights in there with the dice, but then just run the cord out the back and have the battery pack like sit behind it so you can't see it. Kind of battery pack inside.
I'm gonna have to do that as a new merch item on RPG.
Right? It is cool when you like put the I think this one might have had fairy lights in it at one point, but then I dumped them out to like make sure that all the sets were complete.
That's awesome.
And I don't think
I'm stealing your idea.
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, I agree, 3 Miles. That handing out. So I did that. I only did one test one. I never got around to doing more, but I do have all the materials. But I actually did the epoxy with red dye and glitter and all that shit in the bottom. Roll the dice on top of the epoxy that's already hardened in the jar.
Yeah. Okay, that's
cool.
But
I agree that handing them out, I think, is a great way because you're right. Nobody ever remembers they have them, and also, to this day, I never remember what the fucking dice
Yeah, I put a little label on the back that tells you how many D4s roll
right?
for the different
Like I still
size
can't.
potions.
1d4 plus 4 or 4d4. You know, it's
Right.
like
2d4 plus 2, 4d4 plus 2,
no.
and
2d4
64
plus 2 is wrong. See, I think it's
I think it's
4d4.
No, a
plus
regular
4.
healing potion is 2d4 plus 2.
Now we gotta
And the
look.
reason why you know it's that is because it's a plus 2, and the plus 2 is for the 2 dice. So the modifier at the end reminds you of the number of dice you're supposed to roll. Because you get a plus 1 for each dice that you roll.
Right now. And if you're wrong, oh my God, you're right. See? That's why I need the potion bottle. You're right.
I only play this game nine times a week, Bri.
See? This is why I need the potion bottle to tell me, here's how many dice you have, stupid. No.
But I like to introduce things like Elixir of Health or Potion of Rejuvenation, or, you know, I love to, and I recently bought the Griffin's saddlebag that's on D&D Beyond.
Yeah.
They had a lot of cool items in there, so I ended up getting that. And then there was another third-party book I bought recently, because I'm discovering that I don't like any of the Disney books, so I'm buying a lot of the third-party books instead. Because, you know, they're more creative and interesting than the bullshit WotC puts out. So wait,
Disney or WotC? Does Disney now own WotC?
Oh, sorry, I just meant WotC.
Yeah.
I've got Disney on the brain. What else you got, Kristen?
Okay. I also have, you may have heard of these. Well, Jason, you may have heard of them since you're in Los Angeles, is Cantrip candles.
Yep.
They
were at Strategicon. Yeah, they were selling at a booth.
I can smell this one right now, but without even opening it. They're all soy. This one's almost gone. They're soy candles. And they smell. I light them when I have in-person games because they add like a sense of atmosphere to your game. This one is called Dungeon Depths, and it smells like dust, stone, and water.
It smells
so
like rotting corpses.
Like you're in a dungeon.
Smells like rotting corpses.
Yeah, right. Like there's like a library one and a tavern one that smells like a fire.
I think Callista
picked some watery scented ones.
I think Callista picked up a couple. I think she picked up 2 of them.
Nice.
That is. I mean, you know, they say it's a fact. It's not like smell is the strongest. Trigger for like memories and stuff and
true.
So that's
they have tea lights, and then they have this size, and then they also have like the glass jars, and if you get the glass jars, they have a metal D20 in the bottom of the candle, so when you burn it all the way down, you get a die out of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
All right, I got one more thing.
I feel bad, I've only got one thing tonight.
That's okay. I gathered all my things within about 2 minutes of running around the house.
She did. It was epic. I gotta go. I'll be right back.
I was not the least prepared for the first time in 4 years.
That was me. I think it was sometime last year. One of my friends from work and we drove out to Orlando to go to an oddities market. Because I like going to stuff like that. I like picking up.
I love stuff like that. Yeah,
things like for props for the table or just around decorations. And I got this cool hand. So this hole in the glass. It's got a bird skull.
Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah,
that's awesome.
A perfect prop. I love it.
I love this thing.
You know what? Since we're sharing props, I gotta share this one.
That's one thing. It's been a while since. It's been like 2 years since I've run an in-person game, and I miss. Oh, that's a Halloween.
That's cool. This is the perfect time of year to go to the craft stores because they have all their Halloween shit.
We got this. We found this in an antique store out in.
Or just go to a Halloween headquarters. Actually, go to Halloween headquarters in November. You can get everything for about a nickel.
Yeah, but it's all junk. I like to find stuff that people make in their garage, and you know, suddenly something happens and they have to empty their garage, and you go to a local antique store, and next thing you know, you find a hand with a bird skull inside of a palantir. That's like a palantir to talk to the Raven Queen. I love it.
Like, I don't remember who made this, but like I bought it obviously from some woman at a booth who handmade everything in her booth, you know?
That's pretty epic.
I love that. This was one that I could afford because she had some amazing like big terrariums that had like animal skeletons in them and beetles and moss and everything. And some of them had little fairy lights in them, and they were all absolutely gorgeous, but they were very expensive.
Wow.
This is what I could afford. But the place, being the oddities market, I got another thing at the oddities market. I just didn't bring it in. Is a frame with two really beautiful butterflies from like somewhere in Africa that are like very multicolored. So you find a lot of like insects there, and there was a lot of taxidermy and stuff like that. But I came home with a little birdie skull.
That's awesome. Great place to go for cool. Fantasy props. I do miss. That's probably the biggest thing I miss about running an in-person game is all the props and the
props
and whatnot.
I always liked props, like handing people real letters and stuff.
Same, with the seal, with the back seal.
Yeah, I bought one of the Beatles and Grimm's boxes when I was doing Ghosts of Saltmarsh. That had
they put out some really, really awesome stuff, but it's pricey.
So expensive.
Even for me, it's pricey.
It really is.
So I brought to show and tell what started me on my journey of playing
that's all the time we have for tonight.
Unfortunately, I only have the 2 books. I was never able to find the third one because I didn't know there was a third one at the time. So I have the original.
Man!
So this is the first one. This is the third one.
Holy shit!
The second one.
Wait, hold them up. For those of us. Oh man!
Nice.
Wow.
So this is.
To be like in.
You had the third one. You just can't find it.
No, I never had the third one. I didn't know there was a third one. I didn't, because if you read the. In very small print, it says volume 1 of 3 and then volume 3 of 3. And I was like, I was 10 years old or 9 years old when I found these at a garage sale. So I didn't know. I didn't pay attention to the details.
You know what would drive me crazy even more? The fact that I'm just missing one is the fact that I'm missing the middle one.
Well, but see, there's a funny story behind that because I found it interesting.
Hang on one sec. That's the white box, right?
So this is 4th print. So when you look inside, this is from November 1975 when these were printed.
Wasn't that the white box?
I was 9 years old, so I bought these in 1980 is when I bought these. They were shrunk wrapped together as 2 books and like an impromptu shrink wrap. And I think I got them for 10 cents when I got them.
Right, but originally...
I think these originally came in the white box, but I believe the ones that are most sought after are the first print, because I think all the first print came in the white box, and then after the white box, they just started selling the books as prints.
Okay, gotcha.
And I went online and I found out that the Min and Magic Volume 1, like in you'd know this better than me, Kristen, they deem it good condition, whatever that means in the collector world, depending on who's deeming it as good, was going for $1,500. So, which I'll never let these books go because this is when I started playing when I was 9 years old.
You should put those in a bag, though. Put those.
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I have a bag. So,
did you see that on eBay there is a 1975 white box set still in the sealed shrink wrap, and they want
it's a first print
$30,000 for it.
I think it's a first print too.
Oh man.
Yeah. But the funny story is because I didn't know about the third book, or I didn't understand about it until like a couple years after I got these. I made up my own monsters. Because the first book is your characters. The third book is adventuring, the campaign.
You're missing the monster one?
The second book was monsters. And I was like, it's weird that they have these great books, but I don't have any monsters. So I just made around. They would make
characters, and they're like, well, this game sucks. All we do is run around and talk to each other. We don't fight
anything. We don't fight anything.
But I mean, it's
really cool.
And the funny thing is, when nostalgia has a way of playing tricks on you. Like I go back and I start reading these books. These books are 36 pages long. Like they're 36 pages. I mean, volume 1 is 36 pages and volume 3 is 36 pages.
That's it's like the quick start guide you get with your Bunker battery pack.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, look at that artwork, right? It's just like ink sketch, pencil sketch artwork,
Yeah. But back then, that probably felt to you when you were a kid like a 300-page hardcover book does.
Like, the inside cover of the adventure campaign book. It's like, and then the Men in Magic, which is a horribly sexist title for it. But back then they didn't care about women. They only played games for themselves, so they didn't care. Mm-hmm. But like when I start looking at the artwork inside, I'm like, these were just guys that sat around inking or stenciling, art, and then they had to figure out how to put it in these tiny books. There's a topless woman in this book. Mm-hmm. Like it's an inked topless woman, and she's she's a warrior with no armor. So there you go, right? The tropes continue. Right. Yeah, I know, right? Yep. I know, right? It's terrible.
Yes. In fact,
thank God everyone came to our rescue.
I know.
Whatever would we do if no one came to rescue us?
They don't show that anymore because of that. This is much newer, but they don't show the woman in the hand anymore.
It's interesting because so I believe the rules were written in 1973. And between 73 and 75, people were getting their hands on what was coming out, and then they finally got enough money and funding to put together their first box set. You know who helped them get that going and organized? You know who helped them? It was Avalon. It was Avalon Hill. Yeah, it was Avalon Hill Games. Kind of got them going. And it's funny because the inside page here, they have a forward, right? The whole page is the forward, of why you should be reading the book. And at the bottom it says E. Gary Gygax, Tactical Studies Rules Editor. TSR, the original TSR. Yep. And it even talks about incorporating what most people feel is the pretext to this from the late 60s, early 70s, which is the chainmail book. Yeah. Now I have chainmail, but it's in PDF format. I just wanted it for historical reference because you're never going to get your hands on that for under $4 or $5 grand. It's just not going to happen. But once again, you begin to realize that they had these epic battles that they were doing in medieval fantasy. And they began to think about, well, what are our commanders doing? Like, what are the heroes of those armies doing when they're not out fighting battles? Well, they should be out adventuring. Okay, well, let's write rules for what they're doing, while they're not fighting battles. And the original game that Gary Gygax played that got him into fantasy or adventure play, and then eventually chainmail, he loved playing Gettysburg. Like he played military tabletop Gettysburg all the time, which, by the way, Avalon Hill had the best version of that system out during his time. So once again, something that impressed him, like Avalon Hill's game. Eventually, they started playing medieval fantasy tabletop war game, and then they wrote chainmail rules for it because they couldn't really find rules that they liked for medieval style play. And then once that kind of set its course, it was like, okay, well, let's write rules for all the heroes and adventurers that make up the army, and what they do when they're not fighting battles. So I find it interesting that the original thought process is these giant epic scale things that eventually became these more personalized adventures, within the idea of the game. But this is what started me, and that's awesome. And I bought a Sorry game that was there at the garage sale for the markers. I didn't know I needed them. I just thought it was cool that maybe I might need them. And then the guy had like a big box of dice, and this game only required 6-sided dice. So you only had to have 6-sided dice to play this game at the time. There weren't other dice available yet for it. I see. That came a lot later after White Box. I think that mostly came with the release of the red box. Yeah, basic set.
That's the one I had. Was the red.
So when they introduced the basic set, you had to You had to put it was, you know why they did that was cheaper to make the polyhedral dice without ink in the numbers. It was so much cheaper to do it. So it was cheaper to actually put a nickel worth of a crayon in your box and say just fill it in, you know, when you get the set. So
thank you.
It was
you know,
cool.
It's funny because I'm not sure that I ever had the basic set. I want to say that I did because I distinctly remember those dice and owning those dice. I may still have one or two of the dice in a collection.
So get this. This is really cool. Like at the very back
you don't care about my...
No. I've moved on.
You had your turn.
At the very back of the book.
In my eye.
At the very back of the book, they have pricing for all their products.
Oh.
So, oh my God. Read some of the prices off.
So Cavaliers and Roundheads, which was their English Civil War book, that was $3. Dungeons and Dragons, Sword and Sorcery Wargaming with paper and pencil and miniatures, 3 booklets in the box. That was the white box that they were selling. That was $10.
I can't believe how expensive they're worse than Games Workshop.
I know, it's terrible. Chainmail was $5. So they had written rules for what they called Tricolor, which was the Napoleonic war game system. That was $5. They did Warriors of Mars, which is the warfare of Barsoom in miniature. That was $5. Star Probe, which I think was the predecessor to Star Frontiers. Star Probe, the game of adventure, exploration, and conflict in space.
The game of alien abduction.
That was $6. And then they reproductions of illustrations from the rule book. So they were reselling the art from the rule books, which I thought was pretty interesting. And then multi-sided dice sets. Each set contains 20, 12, 8, 6, and 4-sided. So the white box set came with the full dice set, but they had an alternate rule set where you could play with, which was called a hit die 6. You could play with just a hit die 6. You could play with just a 6-sided. I didn't even discover multi-dice until the basic set came out and realized that there were these other dice that you could play with. But what's interesting is they were selling their multi-sided dice sets for $2.50. Now, back then, that was probably really expensive because today you can get a polyhedral dice set for like $5.
Like $6, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So back then, that may have been their most expensive thing on their menu. I
would assume back then that was the first time anybody probably made polyhedral dice.
Right?
So vendors were probably like,
well, I think everybody was making. I think everybody was making polyhedral 6-sided dice. I think this is the first time that they were making.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah, like a different.
We don't have a way to make 20-sided dice.
Yeah.
And
I bet you a polyhedral 20-sided die is what drove that cost. That must have been a very difficult die to make, and they had to make a challenge, and they had to challenge themselves and say, you know what? If we don't put ink in the dice numbers, we could afford to do these.
Well, they probably have to have all custom dies made for the first time, and not like dice dies, but like a die.
The die that makes the dice.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I only ever really remember starting playing with AD&D, and I think I may have had. You know what? Come to think of it, I think I did have the basic set, but being a kid, I think once AD&D came out, I was like, oh, well, this is advanced. I don't need the basic stuff anymore. That might be the only thing that I actually fucking got rid of.
That's some good marketing right there. Who wants the basic ones when you can get advanced?
That might be the only thing I got rid of. But I think I do remember having the box. So yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that was very nostalgic for me to pull those off the shelf, and it was very hard for me to pick because I've got the original.
So this is a good idea. It's not just look what I have. It's like
I mean, I was looking through. I mean, I have 12 Forgotten Realms box sets. When I went to Strategicon, somebody was unloading a giant, like 20-pound pile of just random D&D stuff. And it was filled with second print Forgotten Realms maps because first print Forgotten Realms maps, because the first print Forgotten Realms maps second print, because the first print ones fell apart. Because you know how they all came folded up and you would refold them and put them back in the box?
Yeah.
They'd fray
and the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd fray and then they'd come apart in these little 8.5 by 11 squares because they wouldn't stay as a big poster.
Yep.
So the second print ones were always the better ones because they used a heavier duty paper that didn't have that problem. So I now have a complete Forgotten Realms. I have the Sword Coast. I have the Spine of the World. I have the East, the Central, and South of Faerun in those new maps, those better maps that they did. It's like a stack of maps like that. I have them all out. And I couldn't believe, I bought probably 100 maps, 20 books, 10 modules for like $40.
Wow, that's awesome. You
should frame. I don't even know what I have.
Jeff Shunjin, he's been on also, but Jeff, also, from my high school crew. A couple years ago, he was cleaning out his house or whatever, and he gave me a stack of original modules. No shit, this tall. I actually have to go through that and see what's in there.
My favorite module is sitting over on my shelf, Bone Hill. It's the original one. It's like 20 pages. It has the screen map because all the bindings for all the modules.
Borderlands. I thought Keeping the Borderlands was the first one.
No, I said one of my favorite ones.
Oh, okay.
Bone Hill was one of it because it was the first time we got to play with undead. Like the undead were the central theme of a game. I to this day I don't know why I bought those modules because all I did was read them and then redo them. It was so silly. I was like, "Oh, this is great," but I don't want to do it this way. This doesn't make any sense. I'm going to do it this way, and then I would just redo it and make it more interesting.
It's funny.
Well, we did it, show and tell, and
we'll have to do this. We'll have to do this like once a month.
I think
we're all
we should
done
do it a couple times. At like how we do the state of the game, where we just come and talk about all the different games that are going on, and do like a.
Now I'm motivated to find that box and find like the original Shadowrun, my old Star Wars West End source books, my Torg game, which I know I still have that fucking Torg game, and I have to find it because every time I talk about it, nobody remembers it. So yeah, I'll have to dig that out.
I was just staring over at my shelf, and I'm like, oh my god, I could do show and tell for forever. So much over there.
Right.
Hey Brian, where can we find you?
You can find me at RPG and Co on Instagram and various other platforms, and playrpgandco.com is the website. Check that out. But if you want to shoot me a DM and talk game stuff or ask questions or whatever, Instagram's a good place to do it. Kristen, where can we find you?
You can find me at Kristen's Epic Adventures on both YouTube and TikTok while it lasts.
Yeah, right.
We'll see.
I haven't seen that one. Yeah. Jason, what about you? Where can we find
you? You can find me over at my website, ttrpgacademy.life. All my socials are there. I am beginning to re-experiment with social posting, so I'm going to dip a toe back into the water and see what I think.
It truly is the apocalypse.
Which one
Otherwise, I know, right? Otherwise, you can go over to Linktree TTRPG Academy and find all my links from there as well. I'm mostly going to focus on Blue Sky, Mastodon, and Instagram. Those are the only three that I'm really going to focus on. All right. I don't do Porn X or whatever he calls his X or whatever that thing is called. Whoever names a social platform over a porno reference has got to be out of their mind. Yeah. But yeah, I don't do that.
Social platform formerly known as Prince.
Yeah. But no, I mostly stick to Blue Sky, Instagram, I found threads to be very redundant, so I'm kind of done with redundancy. I really don't really care. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Hey, Brian, TPK.
Tell a story, Jason.
Play a game, Kristen.
And be kind.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks all.